Hey, Scott Austin here. In this video, I want to talk to you about how we use Notion at JadePuma. So Notion is a project management software. There's other ones out there like Avana and Monday. We just happen to use Notion, and it's basically the heart and brain of our business. So every task we're doing for you and all of our clients is tracked inside of Notion. So what I do is for all of our clients, I create a Notion section or workspace for that client, and then I share access to that to the client. So you've already received a link and created an account if you're on this video, because there's another video about creating an account. But once you log in, what you'll see under the JadePuma workspace is that your client name has been shared with you and you'll have access to it. And underneath it, you can expand it out, your client name. You'll see a view of tasks. It looks like this. It's called a Kanban look at tasks. Resources, we show a lot of times with just links to different things like where your DNS servers are at, or a website or a mock-up and things like that. And then also time tracking. So task list is where we'll spend most of our time. And here in this Kanban view, we've got 4 columns that are showing and then 2 that are collapsed. Right. So the main 2 that are showing are in progress by JadePuma and in progress by the client. The collapsed ones are all completed task and deferred task. And then before that, we have 2, on deck groups, up next, and then no status. So up next are the next priorities we're going to be working on, and no status is we haven't prioritized those tasks yet. So here, where there's nothing in the up next, we can look at the no status and say, oh, the next thing we're going to work on is our international page. Now, I'm a big fan of tasks being assigned to an individual and one person, but you can assign a task in Notion to more than one person. And here you can see this task is assigned to me. This one is assigned to the client. But right now, I'm actually in the Scott Austin as a staff member of Haynes Solar Cooker mode, not Scott Austin from JadePuma. Right. So if I click on the My Task view here, it'll show me here. You can see Scott Haynes Solar Cooker is assigned this task. So I can see what that task information is. Now, some tasks have more robust information inside of them. Let's see if we can find one of those here. Yeah, we have, notes going back and forth with people. We also have links to things. So what we have the ability to do is, here I am, and I have an example task assigned to me, and I'm Scott, the staff member at Haynes Solar Cooker. I could write a note back to Scott at JadePuma and just, put in the @ symbol and then start typing in Scott, and you'll see, there I am with my picture. And I could say, I don't understand what needs to be done here. And then I can send that. You got the little blue arrow for it to send. And then the nice thing is I will get an email in my JadePuma inbox, and then that'll prompt me to come look at Notion, see what's going on, and respond back. And there it is. It's shown up. So you can see here in my Scott at JadePuma email, Scott Haynes Solar Cookers is commented in the example task. And I can click on that and go see it. So there's that example task. It's assigned to Scott Haynes Solar Cookers still. So I can write back to him and I can say, so I'm doing @ symbol, Scott at Haynes Solar Cookers. Right, that one there. And let's, how I communicate through Loom videos all the time. So I'm on another screen, grabbing a Loom video URL, and I could just put that in there. Now, sometimes when I put in a URL, it's not underlined. Now, this one happens to be, but sometimes it's not. And then I just hit a space, and that'll underline it afterwards. It's just, if there's an underline, it's a link. It's easier for all of us to click on it and view what that link goes to. So that's just a nice little etiquette thing. So now I'm going to send that back to Scott Haynes Solar Cookers. So if I go and look at my inbox for Scott at Haynes Solar Cookers, we're going to see in my inbox here in a moment that email show up. So now I can see that task has come in to my email, Scott at Haynes Solar Cookers, saying, hey, Scott Austin at JadePuma has mentioned you. So I can go click on that, opens up Notion again, right to that task, and you can see the comment, and I can click on that link, and it'll open up that Loom video for me. or I could put in a URL on the website for a certain page, like this is where we're having the problems and that kind of stuff. You can also add files to a Notion task. You can drag and drop onto the Notion task. And what we do at JadePuma is we go back and forth and we talk, we'll have entire conversations back and forth, Loom video to Loom video to Loom video to Loom video as we solve our problems, and then, close out the task when it's done, kind of thing. So here I am in my view, right? I can see my task here again, and I can look at the whole board. Now, what I could have done, right, when I handed this back, I could have said, well, I also want to assign the task to Scott at JadePuma. All right, so let's do that this time. And then let's say at Scott Austin, done. Can you check it on your side? All right, so I'm going to send that back. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to assign this task now to me and remove the other me from it. And I'm going to move the status to JadePuma. So now when I do that, you'll see in the My Task view, it's gone away. But if I look in the board view, there it is assigned to Scott at JadePuma, and then I'll be getting an email for that. So now if we go back to my JadePuma email, we will see that I've been notified by Notion that a task has been assigned to me. And this one actually says that I've been mentioned in it. So if we go into that task, I'll end up getting 2 emails for this one for being mentioned and the other for it being assigned to me. So now I can say, done, can you check it on your side? Okay, yep, I go check whatever it was. And then I can tell myself, well, this task has been completed. So I can change the status to completed. So now when I look at the Haynes Solar Cookers task board, that example task that we were looking at is no longer here, but it's under the completed section here. It's probably down at the bottom of that list somewhere of the 108 different tasks in there. So that's how you can create a task, assign it to someone else, share information back and forth, have a whole conversation or a dialogue as we track that task through to completion. And then when it's completed, we can move it into the completed bucket. Now you'll see this other view here, which is meeting. And this is one I use with my meetings with you. So I will be tagging tasks with things like review or meeting. There's different tags that I use. And that's just my shorthand to say, these are the things I want to talk about during the meeting with the client. So if we look at here, look up the tags, the unassigned tells me that I need to assign it to somebody. Review means I'm going to talk about it in the meeting. It's done, but I want to show it to the client in the meeting. Question means I have a question about it in the meeting for the client. Content means that this needs copy or a video or an image made for it. Launch tasks are things that we're going to do when we launch a new store live. Pre-launch tasks are the tasks we have to do before we can launch it. So these, I'm tagging those so that when it comes launch time, I can just quickly filter by those and knock off all those items. Bug means there's an issue or something broken. Ask support means I'm dealing with third-party customer support about an issue, so I'm basically waiting for them to respond. Klaviyo and Judge Me are tasks that are related to those apps that I use for almost every client. Priority means something is a priority. I need to look at it, next or first. And then meeting is I want to talk about it in the meeting. So that's how I'm using tags to quickly let me know, like at a meeting, here's the things that I want to focus on. Review is everything that I've done that I want to show you, and any questions or meeting tags, I will bring those up during the meeting also. Now, some teams actually start using Notion for their internal purposes, which you're totally welcome to do. And, you can create a task for your team, and we can have multiple members from your brand inside of Notion. And you can, create a task for yourself and not assign it to somebody else, or create a task for yourself. And then when, you need to, you can hand it off to someone else on your team. So hopefully that's a nice little overview on how you can use Notion with JadePuma as we're working on your brand. Thanks for watching.